Previously on Octane Street.
I was wondering if you'd want to trade the Subi for the Mustang for until Sunday.
Subi for the Stang until Sunday.
Yeah.
I could definitely do that.
All right, guys, we are here in the middle of the night. We got the man of the hour, Swilli, brother. I appreciate you.
No problem.
And behind us, we have his 2015 Subaru Impreza. And the reason why we're trading today, as you guys heard from the phone call with Swilli, is because this has a 5-speed manual transmission that I'm going to be learning on. You learned on it yourself, as mentioned, correct? Okay. And that's going to be wrapping up the first day here of us having some time with our manual vehicle for the weekend. So we are going to pick back up pretty much tomorrow. See y'all there. Peace. All right, guys, we are back in the car for night number 3. I did drive the car last night for about 2 hours, and so I'm very excited for tonight because we are going to be doing our longest drive yet in terms of distance. I'm going to be doing a 30-kilometer trip. That's both ways, so 15 there, 15 back. Last night I drove it for 2 hours and we were getting the hang of things. I do have a few issues so far that I've noticed with my own manual driving ability, and we're going to talk about that while we head to the gas station. I'm going to put a little bit of gas in the tank so that we can make it there and back in no problem. And yeah, I'm super excited to get tonight started. So without further ado, let's go ahead and do just that. All right. Let's get heading to the gas station. And now I am gonna have to go up and down a very big hill that's coming up. So my driving's not the smoothest. One thing that I can say though that's nice is that I don't stall. I've driven the car for about 3-ish hours now, and I've literally only stalled twice, which is a good thing considering I keep going through stop signs and stuff like that. But yeah, so we're just gonna head to this gas station, put some gas in, and I'm not sure if you guys noticed, I kind of did a little smoother than usual. I want to make sure I have some power going up this hill here. We do have a car behind us, which kind of sucks to start the night off, but you know what, it's okay. Okay, they're turning early, but here's my biggest issue. I did it smooth there again. I don't know if I'm getting lucky or if I figured something out, but my shift from first to second, the car like shakes 3 times, like back and forth, as if it's a rough shift. No matter how like slow I let off the clutch or whatever, even if I just rip off the clutch when I get it into the gear properly, it seems to like shake 3 times. It's the only gear that it happens for is going from first to second. But yeah, so far for the night we're doing okay. Let's see how this one is. Let's go ahead. My launches are a little bit rough still. Very smooth second shift again. So yeah, we're doing pretty good so far for the night, hanging in there. My next biggest thing though that I've noticed is my seating position, because I don't know, I haven't driven too many manual vehicles, right? As you guys can imagine, I have a little bit of experience in the Mustang, the 2015 that is, and I have a little bit of experience in a WRX. Whoops, a little rough. Okay, second shift was good. But yeah, so I don't know how properly to position myself if this car just has a long clutch pedal, because for me to fully disengage the clutch, which is fully depress it, I need to be sitting very close to the steering wheel, which is very uncomfortable compared to how I actually sit in my Mustang or other vehicles, for instance. So my right foot, which is hovering over the gas pedal and the brake pedal, I should have downshifted to second there, I think. And that's the third issue that I'm going to get to, but yeah, so my right foot starts to cramp up ever so slightly by my ankle because I'm hovering and I'm too close. I'm too like crunched in to the vehicle to, you know, have enough space to like relax my leg and like have a lot of space. One thing I noticed that I'm doing without even noticing tonight that I was having issue with on prior nights is that I'm taking my foot away from the clutch while driving. When I was just like messing around with the car, I had it so that my foot was always hovering the clutch pedal, because I was kind of like, wanting to always make sure I can disengage or re-engage the clutch whenever. But right now, while driving this entire time without even thinking about it, I've been let's go ahead and put that on. I've been taking away my foot from that clutch pedal and just relaxing my foot. So my left foot's doing completely fine. It's my right foot, believe it or not, that is having the issue of uncomfortability. But we're here at the gas station now. And yeah, I'm gonna fill it up with some gas and then we'll talk back for our third and final problem that I'm noticing so far with me pretty much driving manual. Yep. All right, guys, we just put a bit of gas in the tank and we are sitting at half. Pretty nice. So we're gonna go ahead and head out of the gas station. I actually had to turn the car around because, I actually had to turn the car around because the gas tank on this, or the fill, the fill on this car is on the opposite side of the Mustang. So that was a little bit of, I guess, a learning curve, so to say. But anyway, what we were talking about is my difficulties, my main issues that I've been having with driving manual. And the third or fourth, I don't know what number we're on, but the third or fourth one that we're gonna talk about is my ability to know which gear to stay in while making turns at different speeds. So yesterday while I was driving, I was doing a lot of driving, a lot of back road driving, of course, but I did go on the main street as well. It was after midnight, so it wasn't busy by any means. And I had to take some right turns, some left turns onto, main roads. And I just had this habit that anytime I'm coming close to a stop, I'm automatically engaging the clutch and going into neutral or first, thinking that I'm coming to a complete stop. But obviously there's a lot of times where you can take a right turn or a left turn with carrying through some speed. And so I'd be going through those turns with speed, but then I'd have the car in first gear because I'm so used to like coming to a complete stop, right? And whoops, a little bit rough again. Because I'm so used to coming to a complete stop and yeah, starting over again in first. So learning when to keep the car in second or shift from third to second, or even take a turn at third gear is something that I can definitely use more experience and know-how, which I assume would just come over time with me having driving the car more often, because already there's a lot of things that again I'm doing kind of naturally after having driven the car for about 3 hours in total now. But yeah, I'm very excited to get this drive underway. Those are pretty much the major issues that I'm facing and experiencing thus far. Another little one is kind of that obviously I kind of have rough starts still, and again it's because of where the clutch pedal, the bite of it, where the bite of the clutch is in relation to where it's comfortable for me. That's why I kind of have a rough start still. I'm not used to it, so to say. But yeah, we get there. We're not stalling, like I mentioned. And so yeah. But one other small detail, I don't know if it's this car in particular or if I'm just doing something wrong, but it's whenever say I'm in third gear and I'm coming up to a stop sign, I put the clutch in, I put it in neutral, and then as I'm coming up to the stop, when I want to put it into first, right, even though I have the clutch fully depressed the pedal, and while I'm coming to a stop, if I want to throw it into first before I hit the stop sign, sometimes it feels like it doesn't want to go into first, even though the clutch pedal is all the way in. It feels like it's kind of rejecting it a little bit, and like I almost have to force it in, so I just opt to not do it. Like right now, I'd want to put it into first before I stop, but it just goes in a lot more smoother when I fully come to the stop first, and then disengage that pedal, or then put it into first. But yeah, for now, I'm going to go ahead and play some music over the driving, and we're just going to kind of vibe out and hope we, keep crushing it, kind of like we've been doing. And yeah, that's that.
And after giving the Subi a quick wash, we headed over to Swilli's place to see what he thought of our driving skills.
All right, guys, we are in the Subi with the owner himself, Swilli. Welcome back. And before we hand off the car, I have one last thing I want to do. I want you to judge, based on your own personal opinion, how I drive standard. Now, keep in mind, this is with approximately 7 hours total driving the car. Okay, like approximate.
More than enough time.
Okay, so
I'd say
it's 7 hours. Can you if you had to quantify how long it took you to get things down when you purchased the vehicle, how long would you say? How much driving?
That's a good question. It took me about a week on local roads to kind of get everything.
Okay, so a lot of stop and go.
Yeah, a lot of stop and go just to practice on when I eventually get to the highway, and obviously when it gets to rush hour time, you got to be diligent.
Right.
So I'd say about a week and a half, and then after that
before
I was like, all right, I can rip it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I'm good to drive
And so you say a week and a half, but how much actual driving were you doing per day?
Oh, that's a good question.
Like there and
I'd
back,
say
maybe what, hour, 2 hours?
at the time I was working about, from my location, I'd say about roughly half an hour-ish, so about an hour
About
a day.
an hour a day. Okay, so about 7 to 10 hours ish.
Roughly.
Rough
yeah,
approximate.
rough, yeah.
Okay.
So I'd say
So similar.
you're in the ballpark
Okay.
of being comfortable.
Okay, and throughout that, one last question before I start the car up. Can you recall at all how many times you actually stalled during that first week and a half? Like rough estimation.
Off the lot, or
just in every bit of driving you did for the first week and a half. Just throw a number out there where you feel like, yeah, I kind of stalled that many times.
I'd say I stalled about. I mean, I don't want to stat pad or anything, but
Stat pad. This is not where you want to stat pad.
no, I'd say if you minus the first day,
Yeah,
driving off the lot,
sure.
probably like 3 times.
3 times.
3 times
for the week and a half.
Yeah. 3
Okay.
times.
Okay.
But that's only if you minus the
Yeah,
me
the off the
initially
lot.
getting
That's
the
fine.
car, yeah.
That's fine. That's fair.
But with it, I'd say like probably like 10 times
Sheesh. Okay.
in the same day.
Yeah.
So 10 and then
The 3 for the
and
week
then
and a
3
half.
for the week and a half.
Okay, so 10 hours ish, 3 stalls,
Yeah, roughly.
and it was always from 0 to first.
Always
Stuff on launch,
from
pretty
neutral
much.
to 1. Always.
Neutral 1.
It was never
Right.
anything
In between.
after that,
Okay.
yeah. You'd have to be a
For
pretty-
me,
yeah.
I stalled 3 times throughout the 7
Yeah.
hours.
Yep. There you go.
It was always neutral to first.
Yep.
But my stalls, I will admit, were very, very silly. They were so silly. Like I shouldn't have stalled. I was more testing.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah,
That's
I was testing. I actually only stalled once while actually
realistically,
driving. Yeah,
like
I actually
you,
stalled
like
once.
you not testing anything.
Yeah,
I see.
on my own, I stalled out once. So go ahead, get that seatbelt on. One thing I hate about this car, by the way, if you don't have your seatbelt on and you're driving, bro,
Yeah,
it is
it's
so
bad. I don't know how to lower.
so fast.
I don't know how to lower.
You can't.
You can't.
It's telling your ass put your seatbelt on. Okay. And another thing is, I think it's because the battery's dead that it doesn't like turn.
Start. Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes it doesn't turn, right? Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're just gonna drive around. You're gonna be observing.
Yeah.
Okay, and your personal opinion. This isn't comparing me to no fucking race driver, none of this shit.
all right.
Just realistic shit.
Like just the average Joe.
I was just driving for 7 hours ish, right?
all right.
Approximate.
Okay.
A lot of it was stop sign, so
That's fine.
yeah, whatever. But yeah, so let's go ahead and see what I could do here.
Oh.
Yeah, everything that's wrong, just keep it in mind. And
Okay. The shift was a little.
yeah, if you want to say it out loud, go ahead.
Earlier than anticipated, I will say.
One thing I realized is that it feels absolutely useless to stay in first. Like
It's the worst.
It's
the worst.
not even worth being in for
I will say
half a second.
for this car specifically, the reason why I give it at least 3 to 4K RPMs is because it gets you going a bit.
Yeah,
bit
it
quicker,
does. But there's
faster,
there's an issue I have with driving the car, and I'm not gonna say it yet because I want to. You're gonna notice it as I'm driving, most likely, and then I want you to. I want to ask you how to fix that. Why is it happening?
Right.
What you do to stop that issue, etc. That's the issue. Every time from first to second,
Right.
it feels like shit. Second to third feels good.
I think
third to fourth feels fine.
So for me, since I've driven this car so long,
yeah,
that I kind of know the. Oh Jesus.
I downshifted there.
Yeah.
Because I didn't need to be in
So
third.
downshifting, I would recommend
Rev
when you
match
get
it?
in neutral, give it a
The rev
pump,
match,
and then so you want to rev match it,
Yeah.
and then
I haven't been doing all that.
No, I know. And then
I don't even downshift often at all.
Yeah, and then another tip I will say, just watching you, is going from 3 to neutral to 1 is not ideal for the car.
What do you do? Go straight from 3 to 1?
No, I go 3, downshift to 2, and then neutral. You never want to go from 2 to 1, but you never want to go from 3 or 4 to 1. You know what I mean?
No, I don't go to 1. I go to neutral.
No, I mean that.
And then I come to a complete
that's
stop?
what I mean. That's what I mean. So,
So even if I'm coming to a complete stop.
let's say for example, what you just did earlier, you were in 3.
Yeah.
You go to neutral instead
Yeah,
of
I come to a
instead of
complete
going
stop.
to 2,
Yeah.
you went 3 neutral then 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not ideal for the car, just because it's stuck in 3, and then if you gear skip, it might skip.
But I'm waiting till I'm so even if I come to a complete stop, that's still the case?
Yeah, it could potentially be a case, and you might mash up the gears in there.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I always want to go down.
You always want to down
2?
Yeah. So as you're slowing down, like let's say we're coming up to the stop sign right here.
Yeah.
You know you want to go down to 2, so you go down to 2 from 3 neutral 2, and then you can go into neutral and you'll be.
So
good
you
to
said go 3 neutral 2?
Yeah.
As in just going
just
to 2.
Go to 2. Yeah. Just go to 2.
Oh my god. That's the biggest issue I've been having is always going into.
It might be because you're letting off the clutch a little too fast and at the wrong time.
It might be, but I feel like even when I've tried to do it slow. So you said I want to go into 2 here?
Yeah, and then slow down, and then.
But I'm still have the clutch in though.
You get off the clutch at that point. So if you downshift from 3 to 2, you can get off the clutch and just drive as usual. Just make sure if you want a smooth ride, rev match it. But no, so far, I mean, like I was roughly about the same as I was like this too. I was jerky all the
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're doing, like you're not stalling, which is great, right? Like anytime you can go from neutral to 1 without stalling is a win in my books. You know?
Yeah. I mean, that's the biggest thing for me too. I only choked once, and I was like, damn.
Yeah.
So when you're going over speed bumps, you stay in second?
I stay in second. You never go too far down.
Yeah, because that's another thing that I was having an issue with is knowing when to actually like downshift versus like just stay in the gear or whatever.
Yeah. My foot is like unconsciously going on the brake too.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm so used to
kind of I'm braking a little bit late and whatnot, just a little bit.
So the thing with
here I want to go to second.
Yep.
And then let off the clutch.
Let off the clutch slowly.
But I didn't do a rev match, so
yeah. So it kind of jerks a little bit.
Yeah.
And then as you're coming up to the stop sign, if you go,
because I'm in second now, so is it okay to go into neutral, or I go down?
You can go to neutral. You can go to neutral from here because.
So why is it okay to do that from second but not third?
Second and not third.
Yeah.
Because you go from neutral to first, right, and then first to neutral. If your gear is already to the left, it doesn't. It only needs to go up instead of here all the way to the left and then up. You know what I mean? So like, if you're in 3, it's to the right and up, right?
Yeah.
If you go into
neutral, if I'm in 3, it's directly up from neutral.
Yep, up. So
if
you're, for example, if you're in 3 and then you go straight to neutral and then you're chilling and then you go to 1, it has to do a bit more work and you might grind the gears. If you're doing that.
Aren't the gears only turning if I have RPMs going though?
Yeah, but
that's why because like let's get back to the starting spot and then.
But you know what? Maybe I'm spreading some misinformation.
No. You might be right. All right.
This is just from my previous research.
It's a bit smoother.
Yeah, from when I was learning the car.
Right.
And they, in the videos they would always they explain it
so
a
here,
bit.
I'm gonna downshift. But see, I get
still on the
lost.
clutch?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I get lost because I'm like, okay, I need a brake, but I also need to press a little bit of throttle, but then I also need to get off the clutch.
Yeah.
So my mind gets a little bit lost because I'm like, there's too many steps all at once in that moment. So rev matching something I have not done at all.
So rev matching is quite difficult if you don't get the motions and you haven't, like for me it took like a good day or two, like not even a day. I'm tooting my own horn now. I'd say like a couple days, like few days.
Yeah,
of actually like
it.
I'm consciously doing it,
just focusing on that,
on just that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I like obviously if you're, let's say you're trying to rev match and downshift.
Yeah.
You're in 3. You have to clutch in, then go to neutral. Let off the clutch, rev, back on the clutch and down.
Okay, so I hear you. I get that.
So
but can you also do this? Okay. Third.
Yep.
Clutch in.
Yep.
Neutral.
Yep. Let off clutch.
Second. No. I'm saying go to second.
Yep.
You're still holding clutch.
Yep.
Give a little and then let off clutch.
That works, but it's more efficient to do it
Do it in neutral.
the neutral way. But that's also double clutching. It's called double clutching. That's why you clutch twice, right? So it's
You're doing double clutching.
So I double clutch,
Yeah.
right? So it's boom,
yeah.
boom,
Boom. Yeah.
right? Versus what you're doing, which is completely fine, but it could potentially, like I said, grind the gears if you miss timing. Because I've had that happen to me too, where I did that.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Thank you.
From 3 down to straight into 2.
Yeah,
and I
while
kind of
holding
heard
the clutch.
Yeah, while holding the clutch, while giving it gas, I heard like a little clink clink, and I was like, oh, okay, that's not good. But obviously,
But the way the clutch works,
yeah.
to my knowledge, is when the pedal's pressed.
Yep.
Okay, it separates.
It separates. Yep, that's right.
Right. So it separates.
Yep.
So as long as it's separated, I don't see why there's going to be any grinding, because it's when you actually let off the
Put
clutch.
it and then put it together. Exactly. That's
when
what
you
I
let
mean.
off,
Yeah.
then it puts it together.
Yeah. So I had a instance where I did exactly what you did. Instead of double clutching, I just did 1 2.
Yeah.
Three
3
to 2.
to 2.
And it grinded when I let off the clutch, and then it realigned again.
So that's because you had the RPMs misaligned.
But I had the RPM. That was a misstep on me.
Yeah.
But the reason why I say it's more efficient to double clutch,
Yeah.
obviously for this car it's different. Double clutching is mostly meant for manual trucks, like bigger semis and whatnot,
Okay.
right? Because they're able to push that much power to do that, right?
Right.
And it's more efficient for their fuel.
Okay.
But for this car, I mean, it's not necessary. You can do that, but
Right.
you have to know your RPMs.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to
So
align the RPMs correctly. So
It's not necessarily more efficient in the sense of actual efficiency, unless it's a bigger truck. Kind of
unless
thing.
it's a bigger truck, yeah. But for this car, it's not necessary. But I
Yeah,
do it
but
because
you do it because it's
it's
kinda
better.
good
It's better.
practice
It's
too.
good practice, especially if you're in another car that
Right.
does benefit off of a double clutch.
Yeah.
Then you can really like feel it kick. You know what I
Okay.
mean? If you do it properly.
Yeah.
Or not even. Sorry, not kick,
Not kick.
But you can feel it go really smooth instead of like kick back. Right.
Right.
But like I'd say, you 7 hours. You drove 7 hours, just that little run right there. There are a couple things, but that's just because I've driven
Of
manual
course,
for
of
so
course,
long.
of course.
But I'd say like you nailed it, man. Honestly.
So let's say out of 10.
Out
Be
of 10.
brutally honest. Like let's say 10 is okay. Let's put 10 is where you are. Right. We're not going to say 10 is a race car driver.
Right. Obviously. No,
Right, 'cause that's
I'm just an
just-
average Joe too.
Yeah, exactly, right?
I'm a Joe too.
So let's say 10 is your level of capability. Okay. Where am I in relation to where you're at?
Honestly,
like 5, 6.
Honestly, you're not too far off. If you had this car for another week, you'd probably and like you're actually conscious of doing
that
these
stuff.
certain
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
I'm sure you'd be 10 in another week or so.
But as of
Where
today,
I'm at. As of right now, I'd say you have the right idea. Like you kind of know what to do, and like I
Yeah.
said, from neutral to 1 and not stalling at any point is a win in my book. So
mine
I'd say,
as well.
I'd say like an 8.
Okay, wow.
An
Okay,
8.
that's good.
An
I was
8.
hoping for a 7.
An 8. Yeah.
I was hoping to get 70%.
But there are some points where you were jittering a
course,
bit, but that's
for
just
sure.
because you weren't really conscious of the bite and
Right.
like you only had so much time with the
Yeah,
car,
exactly.
right? Which
And
I can't,
another thing
yeah.
that I wanted to point out and talk to you about. Might as well.
I didn't hear, by the way,
You didn't hear?
the thing that you were saying. Like I might hear it when we were driving.
Oh, not here. Feel.
Oh,
And
feel.
you felt it. It was me going to second.
Oh, that.
Yeah,
that,
that's what
that,
I was
yeah.
talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's the first going to second thing that was an issue.
Yep.
Knowing what gear to go into. Like, say for example, you're coming up to a yellow light that's turning red,
Yep.
and you're making a right turn.
Yep.
So all the traffic is stopped. There's no one crossing. You can just make that turn. You know what I'm talking about,
Yeah,
right?
I know what you're talking about.
So
I know
you're going down at 4th gear, right? Because you're coming with some speed, obviously,
Yep.
so you can make the turn before it turns red, whatever.
exactly.
And for me, a mistake I made was I knew right away I made the mistake.
Yeah.
But I had to go with it. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I stalled, right?
Yeah.
So the mistake I made was I clutch in and I go on the brake, right? Slowing down so I
That's
can
fine.
make the
Yep,
turn.
That's right.
But then to continue after the turn, I still had a slight amount of speed, right?
Yeah.
I should have gone into second, right?
You should have. You're in 4th though, right?
I was in third. If I was in 4th, I should have gone into third.
Yep, exactly.
If I was in third, I should have gone into second.
Exactly.
But if I was in 4th or 3rd,
Yep.
I went down into 1st.
Oh, you're crazy. You never go first. Ever.
Yeah, I know.
You never go first.
But my mind, I was so used to coming from stop signs.
Yeah.
And so you go into neutral, you go into 1st.
Yep.
Go into neutral, you go
Yep.
into 1st, right?
Yep.
Like, because I was doing the back rows, and this is the first time I actually went
Yeah.
on the down
Okay,
Jane.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
and so I was making a right-hand turn where the pizza is.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
By
I got
Jamie
you.
Shepherd?
Yeah.
So I went from fourth or third, and I was going maybe, I don't know, like 15, 20.
Okay.
But I was in first. I
Yeah.
went into first, and
Yeah.
obviously the car like does the big jerk,
yeah,
right?
It did the huge.
So I'm like,
jerk,
fuck. So for me, knowing which gear to go into, because my fear is that I don't want to lose speed by just going down one gear.
So you lose speed.
Not lose speed, but stall.
So you won't stall doing that. I'd say, obviously, I don't know how deep you went into learning, but you could have heel-toed.
Well, I know what heel
yeah.
towing is,
Yeah.
but I haven't practiced that at all.
Yeah, that's a bit
because
more,
another thing
yeah.
that's very uncomfortable for me is the seating position. But continue. I'll tell you about that after.
Yeah, so I'd say doing that, a good practice point is anytime you're coming to a stop for a turn,
Right.
is as you're getting closer and closer, like for obviously they
Yeah.
can't see, but
Yeah.
if you're coming here, for example,
Uh-huh.
and let's say you're trying to make a right turn at that
Right.
corner,
Sure.
as like by this point, if I'm in third gear, I'm going downshifting.
Yeah.
So I'll do a heel toe rev match down, and
Yeah.
then as I'm rolling, you know what I mean? Like I don't need to go that fast, right?
No,
and if
not at
anything, second for this car
It's good
specifically is good enough to just
Yeah.
get you that speed to
To
turn
go,
right
yeah.
and catch the light, right?
Right.
So that's like another thing. That's the thing with manuals
Yeah.
too, where you have to distance manage
Exactly.
with your gears.
The thing is, though, is my distance management was completely fine.
Yeah.
I just wasn't downshifting.
Yeah. That's
My thing
another
is,
thing.
I put the clutch in, I
Yeah.
go into neutral, and I start slowing down, and then I go into first.
Yeah.
I started back at first. In my mind, it was just like, okay,
Yeah,
you're
repetition.
going
Yeah,
into
it's always
neutral,
first.
you're
Neutral,
coming to a
you gotta go
stop,
first.
you're going into
Yep,
first.
yep.
I keep forgetting for the moments that I was driving that I can pick back up in second, I could pick back up in third.
Right, yeah,
I could just
exactly.
do one downshift.
Yep,
I don't have to go
exactly.
all the way down
All
to
the way to one,
first,
yep.
but I can just do, in fact, I
Exactly.
should be doing.
Exactly.
The
Like I said,
single
for the
step.
gears, it's better
Yeah,
for the
yeah,
gears.
yeah.
It's better for the car, right?
Right. So that for me was a thing that I would actually have to consciously think about
Yep.
to actually get down
But
and be more
yeah.
comfortable with
But
actually
when you,
doing
yeah,
it.
that's like I said. That's why I'm. Can I change it? No, I'm just kidding.
Could you what?
Can I change your score? Five? No, just kidding. No, that's the thing though. Like that's why I scored you an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
Personally, just because you're conscious of all these things.
Yeah.
But obviously, you had
It's
a
the
week.
practice,
It's
yeah.
just the practice, right? Like I've had the car for how long?
Yeah.
I remember I told
Couple
you when I
years,
first
yeah.
had it, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Like 3 years at minimum.
Yeah.
3. I had
Yeah.
this car, so I had 3 years of practice, constantly going back and forth and driving places multiple times and
Yeah.
stop and go traffic multiple years.
Yeah.
So I kind of have that practice.
Exactly.
But the fact that you're consciously thinking of it, like, oh shoot, I gotta.
Yeah.
You know what I
In
mean?
the
It's-
moment,
it's
I'm
fine, yeah.
constantly aware. Like
Yeah.
I'm super aware of the mistakes.
Yeah.
It's just practicing again to not
Yeah.
make those mistakes
Yeah.
that I didn't get to do.
Like manual cars is just, at the end of the day, is just repetition.
Yeah. Yeah.
You gotta be able to, at that point, you get to the point where you just don't even think, you just do it.
No, and that's what happened on the second day of me the second night of me driving.
Yeah.
Is I realized that I was doing the clutch work, just the clutch work,
Yep.
automatically.
Yep.
I was doing the clutch work automatically. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even realize I had
You
my
were
foot
doing-
there.
yeah,
And I
exactly.
mentioned that to the camera. I'm like,
Exactly.
oh, that feels good, right? That you're just kind of
Yep, you just do
getting
it.
that down.
You
yeah.
just, it's like, I don't know if you watch Avatar: The Last Airbender, but it's kind of like, so it's basically like you're in, ultra instinct. You go
Okay.
ultra instinct,
Yeah.
where you just,
Yeah,
where your
autonomous,
body
yeah.
just moves on
Yeah,
its
yeah.
own without thinking, because it knows, okay,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have to do this.
Yeah, it's just
right?
normal.
It's just
It becomes
normal. It's like
natural.
breathing.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like ultra instinct
Yeah.
almost.
So
But
the things that
yeah.
the things for me that were going good like that, it feels super satisfying. It feels
Yep.
super good.
Yep.
Because sure, you're not noticing it in the moment, but when you take the second to think about it, be like, oh, I'm
Oh,
doing this without
yep.
even really
Yep,
thinking.
exactly.
That's the part where it's satisfying.
mhm.
The last thing though for me is that the seating position. I don't know, because the clutch pedal needs to be fully depressed
Yep.
in order to
Yep.
switch without causing any damage.
Exactly.
Right? I don't know if this is long. I haven't sat in too many.
It's long.
It's long as fuck,
It's
or is it
long
just
as hell.
me, bro?
It's long. No, it's long.
Because like
Even for me, I have to.
I had to sit so
scoot
close up.
Yeah, yeah.
Which
Not
is
what
so
I'm used to.
annoying.
It was not what I'm used to, because for me, if I lean back like this, I can't see shit. I can't see nothing if I'm like this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I have to clutch in
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So for me, this car, the only gripe I have about this car is the seating position.
Okay,
About
thank God.
because that clutch is so
long.
It's like, even, I swear,
Our
like,
legs
I've
are
been-
too short
Dude,
to
I've been
fucking
in
do
a Jeep.
properly.
I've been in a Jeep.
Yeah,
a manual
they're
Jeep.
they're short.
Even those
they're long, but you have to sit close up too.
No,
yeah.
but not as long.
No,
Not
yeah,
like this.
yeah.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
This is like, I gotta get like some sort of wooden pedal and like step on it a little further to sit more comfortably.
Thank
Like,
God
look at
it's
this.
not just me, bro.
Like, why is the steering wheel right
Bro,
up here?
it's like if I had keys in my
can't-
pocket, it's
that's
like
what
I'm
I'm
touching
saying.
the keys and
That's
shit.
what I'm
It's
saying.
like
Exactly.
okay, so it's not just
It's
me.
not just you, brother. It's not
because
just you.
we're about the same height, roughly.
Yeah, roughly the same.
And
height,
for me, it's like okay, because the issue that this
Yep.
creates for me is on my gas pedal,
Yep.
the right foot.
Yep.
My ankle,
Dude, the amount of times,
bro.
the amount of times where I'll like wing my knee or something, or like my ankle is like freaking like I have to like move around a bit. The hand positioning weird. Like I
So that, but also my ankle would actually cramp up because I'm hovering over the gas pedal.
Yeah.
Because I'm sitting so close up.
Yep.
In my Mustang, I'm pretty far back.
Yeah.
Like
Same with that car.
like
My
even
other
a little
car,
bit
yeah.
too much
Yeah.
for what you're supposed to be. Just because I like having that leg room.
Yep.
Right?
I
It's
agree
comfortable
with
for
you.
me.
I agree with you. No, I'm
Right.
the same way with that
Yeah,
car.
yeah. Exactly. But in this one, I'm so close up that my ankle's constantly in
Up.
this position.
Yep.
I'm
Yep.
hovering over the gas.
Yep.
And I'm like, bro, okay, let me try and move the seat a little bit back. If I move it a little bit back, all of a sudden I can't fully
You
depress
can't
the
fully-
clutch.
Yep. You can't go back.
So
on
it's
it,
like
yep.
I have to just force myself to hover the ankle, take the fucking cramps.
Yep. Just eat the crap.
Yeah, literally.
It gets to the point where your legs just your ankle's just so jacked. You
Literally, it was getting to
You're
the
good.
point. Like for one of the nights, I did like 2 hours of driving.
Yeah.
By the end of it, it was like okay, yeah, my ankle was like I wasn't even like really thinking about
Yeah.
it too much.
It gets to the point.
But
where
if
you
I
just-
thought about it, I realized that it's in some pain.
yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so that's not just me
you.
though.
It's not just you.
God,
it's me too. It's
thank
me too.
God, bro. Because like I was like, if every manual is like this, honestly speaking, like
You
just
wouldn't.
off the rip, like I'm like, if every manual is like this, like
No.
I'm cool, bro. Like I'm cool.
No,
like
you're
I'll
good.
just drive my automatics. You know what I'm saying? Like
no, it's not.
next Mustang I get, like I'm cool just putting everything in automatic still, not even gonna think about it twice. But
Yeah.
because I remember, I'm like, I don't remember the Mustang, the little bit, because I don't know if you've seen the video, but I did a little bit of practicing in a Mustang when I am a
Yeah,
previous
I remember.
workplace.
Yeah, I remember.
And that clutch pedal is so much shorter.
It's way shorter. Yeah,
It's so much
But
shorter.
it might be a dual stage too, right? It makes it a bit shorter.
No, I don't think it was.
It would. No, I'm
No,
just saying. it
I'm
would,
saying
it
that one. I don't
That
think
one
it
was?
is. No. Those Mustangs don't come in dual stage. I don't think.
would. Maybe it was knotted, or was it?
No,
factory?
it was
Oh,
factory, it was factory.
Oh, okay. Then Mustangs must just have shorter
Yeah,
clutches.
I
then.
believe they
might
do.
have a shorter
Yeah.
throw, right? So
But this one is so much travel.
I know. I will say though.
You can adjust these, by the way, if you're not aware.
Which one?
You can adjust clutch pedal like thing. Like you're saying, it might be modded.
Yeah.
You can adjust the
I know.
cable,
I know.
yeah.
You can. I know you can.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just never.
Yeah, of course. You just
because
get used to it. And
I just get used to it,
Yeah.
and then I know that this car specifically. I hate to say it because I had this car for so long, but
Yeah.
obviously, and you know me too.
Yeah.
Like I've had this car so long term that, I hate to see it go, but I'd love to see it go.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I get
you know
it.
what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
Like,
it's kind of it's bittersweet, but mostly
yeah,
sweet.
more sweet than bitter. I tell you,
Straight up.
90% bitter, or no, sweet. Sorry,
I was
90%
like,
sweet.
yo,
90% sweet, 10%
There's no
bitter.
way.
It's
Yeah.
nice and sweet.
Yeah.
Like if I can get this car to go and get you'll see.
Yeah.
We'll definitely
Yeah.
I'll definitely bring you along for the ride for that. But
I mean, but yeah, I appreciate it. Not so bad. Compared to the first night when I was just taking it from you,
yeah.
I was nervous. I'm like, fuck, like I don't even know if I'm just gonna keep
Yeah,
stalling or whatnot, right?
yeah.
Am I gonna have to call you outside to like give me pointers
Yeah,
and shit?
yeah.
But no, I mean, even though sometimes I might ride the clutch in first to go from neutral to
Yeah.
first, it's for the most part I don't think like I was doing that.
Just
a bit.
Well, to be fair though, you're cheating because you're not a complete newbie. You
How
had
am I cheating?
you had prior experience,
I mean,
and you're a car guy. Like
Sure.
like you kind of get it, right? Like
Yeah.
Like all the stuff aligns.
Yeah.
And also to be fair, if you were just a new guy that like, yo, Will, let me practice this.
Yeah.
I've never driven. Oh my god, I was gonna smack the fuck out of you, bro.
Like, psh, got the mosquito. Don't worry, you're good.
Yeah, but yeah, if I knew, like, if you were just, hey, I've never driven manual, let me borrow your car for the day or the week or whatever, and I can practice, and you did that good, I'd give you a 10 out of 10.
Okay.
But because I know you've
Yeah.
driven manuals
I have a little bit
before,
of practice, yeah.
I think you said what, like three cars you've driven manual? 2 cars, I think.
2 or 3,
2 or 3 cars, yeah.
3 cars, but
I'd say
very
3, yeah.
limited time.
But like, still, that's practice that a new person doesn't have,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that's why I'm saying, like, yeah, like 7 or 8 is fair.
Yeah.
But I give you an 8 just because you're my boy, and you did pretty good.
Either way, I was
You
aiming
did
for a
pretty good.
7, so
yeah, you did
I'm
pretty
glad
good.
to hit the
yeah.
mark at least. But okay, dope. Let's go for another lap, but that's pretty much it for the video portion. You guys heard it here yourselves, 7/8, so we'll call it 7.5.
7 points.
Just to be fair.
Just fair.
I'm happy with that. I definitely want to continue learning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially knowing that
Yeah.
all of these aren't the same. They're going to be different. Like in
Different
this
every
one,
time.
it's a
Yep.
little bit. I've heard as well when I did the WRX video, the
Yep.
STI one, that Subis kind of suck to drive for a newbie.
They do.
So you learned in a
Oh,
Subi.
I learned the first thing I learned was in a Subi.
Yeah, and so most of my experience thus far in my life is in a Subi as
Yep.
well, and I didn't like either of them. Like personally
They're not-
speaking,
they're
I'm
not
gonna
nice. They're not
I'm gonna
fun.
be straight up,
They're not fun.
you know. But knowing that, you know, if I go in something else like a Honda or
Yeah,
whatever, it's
exactly.
gonna be a much
It's a better
better
experience. Well, I
experience.
will say it's one of those cars. A Subi's like one of those cars where if you can learn this on manual,
then
you
you're
can
good.
learn anything
Yeah,
else on
you're
manual.
chilling, for the
Right?
most
Because
part.
like I said, the throws,
Yeah.
and you know yourself,
Yeah.
the throw's very long.
yeah,
Maybe the
travel.
bite as well. You might not catch it just because that throw is so long.
yeah,
it might throw you off.
That does throw me off,
know what I mean?
actually.
Yeah,
because you have to let go so
So-
much just to get to the
Yep,
bite point.
Yep, exactly.
So it's so high up. That's the only reason why I truly believe that's the only reason why I still ride the clutch going neutral to first.
Yeah.
Is because it's so
You
high
think
up. It's
it's so
already
high,
an
yeah,
uncomfortable
exactly,
position.
exactly.
The bite is just so high up that I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, am I there yet? Am I
Yep.
there? It's like I'm waiting so long.
Yep, exactly.
But again, if you're comfortable with the car, you kind of get used to the travel
Exactly,
of it, and you
exactly.
know when to let go of
yeah,
the
like
clutch. and
I've been
easy
in a Porsche for manual. I
Yeah.
forget the model.
Yeah, yeah,
but that clutch was beautiful. It was
Oh,
like
yeah?
butter.
Damn.
Felt like I could just press it with my finger and it go in. It's so nice. Like luxury. Like those kinds of
Yeah,
cars
yeah, yeah.
is like different
Yeah,
experience.
yeah,
You know what I mean? It's
I would
like
hope so.
completely different
You
experience.
paid a lot of
It's not
money.
even a car.
Yeah.
At that point, it's just like a toy. You're
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
whoa,
yeah.
whoa,
Yeah, yeah,
whoa,
yeah.
whoa. You know what I mean? Like you're going crazy. It's
Just
so
dope.
fun. It's so fun. Yeah.
People
It's-
say the
it's
same
very
thing for
fun.
some of the manual Mustangs specifically that have the Tremec, so like a GT 350.
Yeah.
Those have the Tremec in it, or the Mustang Bullet, other ones as well.
Yeah.
The Mach 1. But for those, people say that it's super smooth as well, similar to you're describing the
Yeah.
Porsche.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's super interesting. But yeah, I appreciate you lending me the car.
Oh yeah.
It was great, and you know I'm looking forward to continue learning and hopefully something that's a little more comfortable.
Oh yeah.
in the
Don't worry.
future.
In the future.
Yeah,
It's gonna be mine. I know it's gonna be
okay,
mine.
then
It's
there we
gonna be
go. But yeah, appreciate it, brother.
mine.
Thanks for being on the channel. Thanks
Oh,
for
of
being in the
course.
video.
Anytime, man.
That's it for this time, guys. If you guys enjoyed the video, you know, you guys know what to do. If you guys want to see some behind the scenes content, feel free to join that membership link right below and right next to that like button. I'll see you on the future.
But that's alright. Hush.